The Congress party is imploding and the top brass is blaming the BJP for luring its MLAs with money power. Tonight on the News Hour, let me reveal to you the reality behind this rhetoric. Sources in the Congress party have told Times Now that it is a power tussle within the Gandhi Parivar. Yes, the Gandhis have differences of opinion amongst themselves, and that is leaving the party in disarray and the cadre completely disillusioned. The party, thanks to a prestige battle between Sonia, Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, are paying the price in Gujarat and 3 other states. The cadre is openly penning Congress's epitaph. Read Sanjay Jha's article. In fact, let me give you examples from 4 states. In Gujarat, where the Congress is facing defections ahead of Rajya Sabha elections, sources have told us that MLAs wanted to nominate either Bharat Singh Solanki or Rajiv Shukla. These were the 2 names that were doing the rounds. Rajiv Shukla dropped off early because he doesn't come from Gujarat, and though he's a friend of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, he didn't find much favor with Rahul Gandhi, and therefore his name was nixed. Bharat Singh Solanki was the choice of the MLAs, but no, the old guard backed Shakti Singh Gohil and he got the okay from Sonia Gandhi. Now what happens? What happens? Shakti Singh Gohil becomes the nominee. Bharat Singh Solanki faces a problem in getting the High Command recommend his name, and the disconnect between Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi completely clear. Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi completely disconnected on this particular decision. On the other side, let's look at the situation in Gujarat now. The Gujarat is, there are MLAs who are sitting in 3 different resorts, somewhere in Rajkot, some, being ferried somewhere else. And Mr. Ahmed Patel puts out a tweet and blames the BJP for it. Now, let's look at the situation in Uttar Pradesh. In fact, in Madhya Pradesh, the Gandhis have left it pretty much to former Chief Minister Kamal Nath fend for himself. Jyotiraditya Scindia left with 23 MLAs and there are by-elections happening. Now Kamal Nath is sitting there fighting his own battle. Nobody really cares in the Gandhi Parivar कि वहाँ मध्य प्रदेश में होगा क्या. No battle plan. Kamal Nath left to fend for himself. That is the situation in Madhya Pradesh. Everybody is looking at the party for some direction, none coming. In Karnataka, look at the fact that the former leader of the opposition in Lok Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, who lost elections of the Lok Sabha, now becoming Sonia Gandhi's man who is being fielded for Rajya Sabha elections. Certainly not the choice of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who would have wanted a younger leader. Again, disconnect between Sonia Gandhi, who probably has got convinced by the old guard, Rahul Gandhi, who these days is more busy probably interviewing Nobel laureate or industrialists or former RBI governors, probably doesn't care enough and has left the party midstream to fend for itself. So Mallikarjun Kharge again shows the disconnect between the Gandhi family. And then what happens? Internal conflict. That's the result. Let's take a look at Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra comes in and she wants her nominee, KTS Tulsi, to become the Rajya Sabha face of the Congress party. Reason? Well, he may not be a congressman, he may not even take the Congress line, but he fights the cases for Mr. Robert Vadra, who has a slew of cases against him, from Enforcement Directorate to CBI, from land ghotalas to, involvement with the arms dealers, etc., etc., etc. All those are allegations, but you need a high-fly lawyer to fight them. And therefore, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra weighs upon Mummy Sonia Gandhi to push the name of KTS Tulsi. Rahul Gandhi doesn't want it. Disconnect again. And this travels out to the party, who feels if we want a solution to put the Congress party ahead, the family is not on the same page. Is this what is creating a disarray in the Congress party? That's the question. Gandhi's split Congress. That's the hashtag. And let me get in Rashid Kidwai. Rashid Kidwai, who's written a book on the goings on in 24 Akbar Road, the Congress party, who knows the workings of the Congress party. Rashid Kidwai, are we wrong? Are we wrong to get a sense of the split that's happening between the family members of the Gandhi Parivar, which is leading to this confusion that we are seeing in Gujarat, in Madhya Pradesh, in Karnataka and in Uttar Pradesh?
Navika, if you permit me to say this, your criticism is absolutely spot on, but your conclusion is slightly misplaced. There are no kind of difference among Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and Priyanka Gandhi. They are enjoying that kind of supreme leadership status that they have. It is a fault of the Congress party leaders to come up and question them. And this is, of course, we can say that this is the internal matter of the party, but that's where, you see, by writing a newspaper article, it's not going to solve problem. Where are, likes of Mr. Shashi Tharoor and others who, who talk about democracy and all to come forward? There are enough provisions in the Congress constitution, party constitution, to challenge them. They just need 10% signatures to force election. The Congress leadership issue needs to be resolved.
When did that happen last in the Congress party? It may be a theoretical solution that stays in the Congress constitution, but it's never been exercised. So that is the problem.
Navika, you also saw it.
नहीं, fight ठीक है, मेरी कोई पार्टी नहीं है ना, और मेरा कोई बिजनेस भी नहीं है जो मेरी फैमिली फाइट से अफेक्ट होता है.
What I'm saying is that, internal party democracy cannot be restored by a court of law. It cannot be done by media. It is for the Congress people to wake up. And they need to raise this issue, as Mr. Arjun Singh had done it against Narasimha Rao. He did not succeed, but at least there was a wake-up call. So what I'm saying is, see, the Congress battle for internal democracy has to be fought by people like Kapil
But is there internal democracy? Rashid Kidwai, you are getting carried away. You're talking about there should be internal democracy. But hai nahi na, the reality is different. The question I'm asking you is, Mr. Ahmed Patel has just some time back put out a tweet. He's put out a tweet saying that at a time when the BJP should be actually looking after the COVID situation, they are trying to break away MLAs. Mr. Ahmed Patel, shouldn't he be looking at the ED summons? He said, ED summons, I can't come, I'm a senior citizen. Fair enough, valid point. But he says this is because of the Gujarat situation, because the BJP wants to break away MLAs. I can only blame a thief, coming into my house if I've kept my door shut. If the door to the Congress party's MLAs is open, how can Mr. Ahmed Patel use his ED summons, to justify the fact that BJP wants to break the Congress party? Isn't the Congress party breaking by itself?
Yes, you're asking me, Navika?
Yes, Rashid.
Yes, certainly things are very bad in the Congress, and mind you, all this thing about poaching and all, it's always very easy to blame, opposition. In this case, Congress blaming the BJP. But obviously, you're right that, Congress House is not in order. But we also know, Navika, that, kind of many external pressure, allurement, all these things are made. This is, it happened, and Congress has been a past master of it. During Indira Gandhi's time, Rajiv Gandhi's time, these things happen from position of strength. Now, at this point of time, Congress is weak, so all it can do is to blame its political opponents. But to set house in order, I'm sorry to say, repeat this again, this cannot be done by anyone else but congressmen themselves.
Well, that isn't going to happen anytime soon. So for the moment, again, Congress actually calls upon problems on themselves, and at the moment, our sources tell us it is the Gandhis who are splitting the Congress, not the BJP really. And at a time when Mr. Ahmed Patel is pointing fingers at the BJP, the question really is, he obviously is alluding to the ED questioning him. The question is, it's a 14,000 crore scam of Sterling Biotech, the Sandey Saras. The two Sandey Saras have fled from the country. Many questionings have been done, many properties have been confiscated, and this whole matter has certain timelines to be adhered to because matters are in court. At such a time, can you give questioning and investigations a break, first for Parliament, then for COVID, and then for Rajya Sabha elections? Can investigations remain on hold forever? That's the question Mr. Ahmed Patel needs to answer. Well, thanks Rashid for joining me on the News Hour. Going across to the other big story. On a day when our forces decimated the new terror front of Jaish, Lashkar and Hizbul Mujahideen in Kashmir, the Islamists have responded by targeting the defenseless. A Hindu Sarpanch named Ajay Pandita has been murdered in cold blood in Anantnag district. 35-year-old Sarpanch. The condemnable anti-Hindu hate attack has outraged India. But guess what? All those shedding tears for dreaded terrorists like Riaz Naiku and Fauji Bhai, who recently were eliminated by our braves, are today maintaining a stoic silence when it comes to the brutal murder of a Hindu Kashmiri Pandit. The big question is, why be selective in death? That's the question. That is the only legitimate question that we need to ask. Why no candles for Kashmir's Pandits? Ajay Pandita slain. That's the hashtag. And coming up on the debate, Shehzad Poonawalla takes on Babar Qadri. And Babar Qadri, my question to you is, would you condemn the killers of Ajay Pandita today? Why no sound from them, from the usual liberal brigades who even come out on the streets to shed tears for Burhan Wani, for Naiku, for Fauji Baba, all of them. But today, not one tear for Ajay Pandita?
See, first of all, let's all condemn the innocent killing. One. Second, you have always become, the cheerleaders for the killings in Kashmir. You never talked about the plight of Kashmiri people who are suffering since 70 years in this conflict. One. See, honestly telling, when there is an absence of political space in Jammu and Kashmir, you cannot dream of this, this a peaceful Jammu and Kashmir. We are being killed from this side or that side, but ultimately this is the conflict, this is the extremist approach of both the sides.
I want to ask
Indian
you,
state
Shehzad Poonawalla, he calls it a conflict. How many people have been killed? Terrorists have been eliminated in the last 7 days. Have you seen a cheer? They're calling us cheerleaders of killings in Kashmir. Have they cheered our braves who have eliminated 9 terrorists in the last 4 days? Has there been one cheer for them? Has there been one cheer for our braves who, guard the LOC every day and get ceasefire violations from the Pakistan side? तब तो ये पाकिस्तान के cheer leaders होते हैं. आज हमसे सवाल पूछ रहे हैं और हमें कह रहे हैं हम cheer leaders हैं of killing people in Kashmir.
We are not cheering for anyone.
Navika, today Ajay Pandita has not been.
For the human
Navika,
rights.
today Ajay Pandita. Navika, if I may, because it's the last 1 minute of the debate to go, so I'll make it quick. Today, Ajay Pandita has not been killed just by the bullet of the terrorist. He has been killed by every person who supported 370's continuation and opposed its abrogation. He has been killed by those who whitewashed the Islamist narrative behind the Kashmiri genocide of the 90s. He's been killed by those who legitimized the separatists who are the Pakistani dalals. He's been killed by those who have been cheering on and protecting the Pattharbaz or the stone pelters of Kashmir, saying that they are only young boys. He's been killed by those who find Riaz Naiku as a match teacher and Burhan Wani as the son of a headmaster. He's been killed by those who in the name of secularism say nothing about the lynching of Muhammad Ayub Pandit, but go on and on and on about the killing of others, because for them lives don't matter. For them only the Islamophobia card matters, the Muslim victimhood card matters. Today Navika, Ajay Pandita has been killed by Babar Qadri. He's been killed by Majid Qadri.
I want to ask you, Babar Qadri, I want to ask you, the Sarpanch, Ajay Pandita Pandita
expressing
was
their
part
opinion on
of the
Facebook.
political
This is
process
questioning
of Jammu and Kashmir. Have you shed one tear for the killing of Ajay Pandita? He was part of the political
Yes,
solution for
he is our
Kashmir.
brother.
And I
He
want to
was
ask
Kashmiri.
you,
He was
every
innocent.
day when
He
you
was-
sit on these shows and you talk about separatists being consulted, what about Ajay Pandita? Are people who are separatists who believe that India should not be united?
कश्मीरियों के लिए आपके लिए गोली है और चाइना के लिए बोली है. There is no political space in Jammu and Kashmir. You register affairs against the people who express opinions on Facebook. See the recent affair against the lawyers who expressed
And what about the Kashmiri Pandits who were thrown out in the 1990s? What about the Kashmiri Pandits? Were there any FIRs against anybody who were filed at that time?
Who left because of Jagmohan?
The hypocrisy and the doublespeak, ladies and gentlemen, is demonstrated right here on the news hour. Shehzad Poonawalla, they call this hypocrisy. What about them? What about them? What about what they did to Kashmiri Pandits? What about what they have done 30 years later to Ajay Pandita? And this is the political solution that was being found. They will not support this, but they will support the separatists. They will support the Hurriyat leaders who are financed by Pakistan. They will support those dalals. Ladies and gentlemen, where is their priority and where is the priority of citizens of India? That's the question we need to choose from. Thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour. Good night from me. Padmaja Joshi up next. Don't go away.